and go find some red clothing.
Will do.
Thanks, Dr. Narang. All right, let's bring in Kristi Gordon now for a look at our weather forecast. Kristi?
Sophie, I've got a dark red maroon.
Yeah, no, that works. That works too.
All right. A bit of a change today, Sophie. We're seeing more cloud cover across the region. Hard to tell in this image, but there is more cloud cover across the region. Still cold today, but we are going to warm up in the days to come. I just wanted to show you this image from Penticton. There's a lot of really neat ice sculptures out there, and we are going to see a change in temperature right across the province. But the first area that will see the change is the south coast, and for those of you in the interior, next week you'll start to feel the impact. So here's a look into the weekend. Periods of rain warming up to 6 degrees. Typical for this time of year is 9, and we're going to sort of be back to near seasonal values all week long, with definitely a wet weather pattern on the way. In the meantime, though, tonight it is still going to be cold all across the interior, but I want to point out Metro Vancouver tonight will drop down to -1, which still seems very cold, but that's actually the warmest it's been in 2 weeks for an overnight low. So that is going to feel fairly mild. And we have a bit of a system just south of us. That's why we're seeing cloud cover right now, but we're not anticipating any moisture from it, except for those of you in the Kootenay region tomorrow, and that will shift out. It's once the floodgates open from the west that we're going to see moisture shift in, with the first of it moving in Friday night, and then we'll see that into Saturday. We had been advertising the potential for a little bit of snow in the morning on Saturday, but I really think the likelihood would be over higher elevations and in the mountains. And it is great news that we're going to get this moisture. It does mean snow for the mountains, and we'll get a lot of it over the next little while. So that's great. In the meantime, tomorrow, the last dry day, and not that it's going to be a soaker over the next week, Sophie, but it certainly will be on and off, and we'll see rainfall over the weekend. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Kristi.
Puts things into perspective for us a little bit.
So when we say it's cold here,
we don't really, yeah. So, for example, tonight we're going to drop down to -1, which for our area is still pretty cold, but that will be the warmest that we've seen in 2 weeks, and nowhere near what they're going to see in the prairies. By the way, some parts of the prairies actually have the potential for wind chill down to -51 tonight, even colder than that. All right, this was from last night. We've had some stunning sunsets. Today we started to see a little bit more cloud cover across the region, and that is the change that's going to take place, meaning milder air set to shift in. Daytime highs are typically up to about 8 or 9 for this time of year, and we're certainly going to climb back to near seasonal conditions as well as values in terms of temperature. So yes, that Arctic air beginning to shift out of the south coast, but for those of you in the interior, take a little bit longer. Milder conditions expected early next week, back to near seasonal values, and then potentially even warmer than that late next week. So all areas climbing out of that Arctic air mass, but tonight still very cold through the interior regions. -1 though as our overnight low, and that's, as I mentioned, the warmest that we've seen in about 2 weeks now. We're anticipating a little bit of cloud cover still tomorrow. This system is going to remain south of us, but it will impact the southeastern corner of the province. So areas like Nelson will see a little bit of snowfall tomorrow, but otherwise dry conditions. And then beyond that, starting Saturday, the floodgates open as a series of systems move in. That brings in the milder air and the typical wet weather that we see here on the south coast. So there's the snow for the southeastern corner, and for our region on Saturday, we had been talking about the potential for snow, but it really looks like a rain event. The snow will remain in the mountains, everyone, right where it should be. So tomorrow, mostly dry, a few flurries in the southeast, but mostly dry. It's Saturday that we're expecting that moisture to shift in, and daytime highs up to about 5 degrees with a bit of sunshine tomorrow before we start to see the rain. And yes, then you're going to need to get your rain jacket on and off for the next few days. All right, tonight's weather window is coming to you from Creston, where Myrna shared this beautiful ice castle that was taken just outside of a cafe. I don't know who built it. She didn't know who built it, but she says it reminds her of the Valentine ferry. Now, I don't know the story of the Valentine ferry, but she says apparently the Valentine ferry has an ice castle.
The Valentine
ferry.
I've never heard of the Valentine
ferry. Might show up tomorrow,
I
apparently.
missed that one. Oh, it's apparently Galentine's today.
Oh, really?
Which
if
the day
you don't
before,
if there isn't a man involved in this equation?
Oh my God, did my eyes roll?
I heard that eye roll.
Yeah, I think I don't know what it is. Something about
celebrate with
Was it
Galentine's. Someone
when you
Galentine's.
When you said that, I thought of like an American measurement. Galentine's, yes.
Maybe that's what
I want to go down and buy some gas in the States. It's Galentine's Day. Okay.
Burn at the start.
That picture is me when I was, I believe it was 11. I am pretty,
I gotta say proud of myself of where I am now. And, you know, it wouldn't be possible though without my parents, my family as well, because it's quite a lot going into it.
Jay Durant, Global News.
And don't forget to email your story ideas to Jay at thisisbc@globalnews.ca.
Way to go, Nicole. Okay, Squire brought something, man.
Well, yes, every couple of years the Whitecaps kind of change their primary colors, you know, tweak the uniform a bit. So this is the 2025 version. One of the differences is now it's light blue above the hoop. It used to be red. And see, the hoop now goes to the sleeve. See?
I like it. Looks good.
Anyway, there you go.
Let's hope it helps them score some goals and
Yeah.
win some games.
Let's hope it helps them from not moving from this city one day.
Yeah.
That too.
That could be something. All right, thanks very much for watching, everybody.